Like the color purple, where do it come from? Now my eyes are open. Look what God has done. You take a grain of love to make a mighty tree. Make that mighty tree. The smallest boy. You take a harmony. Take a harmony. Like a drop of water. Drop of water.
Welcome back, folks, to CVT Weekly News, your one and only place to get us, right here at CentralValleyTalk.com, and we got a special guest for you guys today. We've got Edward C. Smith from The Color Purple. Hello, Edward.
Hello, how are you, Jason?
Well, I'm doing well, and you?
I'm doing well.
So you're going to be coming to Fresno.
Yes, we are. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, folks, that's going to be tomorrow, December 7th, and the day after, December 8th. So, guys, if you don't have your tickets yet to The Color Purple, well, you better hurry now, because I'm sure that at least one of those nights are sold out already, folks. So, better call them up, this Williams-Soroyan Theater. So, I'm curious, how did you get started in theater?
Probably like most young kids, through the drama department at the school. I think we did Julius Caesar in 6th grade or something. And that turned into, obviously, I was getting into choir and stuff once I got into junior high and then senior high. Got involved in the school play, and then it kind of blossomed from that first real experience of it all.
Oh, that's definitely how a lot of us have started over here, too. We've got a huge theater crowd here, as you probably can imagine, since we're doing 2 shows. But I'm curious, what got you into The Color Purple? I mean, did you just audition to it, or did you really have a drive for it?
It was a matter of I was an actor looking for work. Something as basic as that. Once you get down to the nitty gritty of it, and they were casting the show. Unfortunately, I had missed the original casting for some reason. I think I might have been in China performing at the time with another show, but I missed the original casting that they did in the summer of the year. And when I got back in town, it was fall of the year in October, and I had just read about the callbacks that they were having on the internet. And I figured, well, I'll give it a shot, and I emailed the casting director and said, listen, I just heard about it. I know it's callback, so you mind if I attend? And he said, sure. So that's an example of where you can always try. All they can do is say no. He said, sure, come on down. Bring your headshot and be ready to sing. He shot me some stuff over the internet to be prepared with, some sides. And I went to a callback rehearsal in October after they had already looked all around the country. And I went into that audition on a Monday. They asked me to come back on a Tuesday. Came back on a Tuesday, and Friday they called me up and told me I had the job. And here I am.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
Now, have you been enjoying performing it?
Oh, loving it. Really honing my craft, much better with this specific character, and the direction that the character got from the director.
Yeah.
It's really a really juicy part for a male actor.
Yeah, I've definitely. I mean, I've seen the movie before, and I've always wanted to see the play. So I'm going to be in the audience at one point. But I've always seen that was a very difficult role to play. I do not envy you the task, but I'm very glad to see you doing it.
Agreed. It's not a likable character. No one comes away from the show going, "Boy, I like that Mister." but hopefully they do come from the show going, "Wow, he really portrayed that character well." Despite the fact that he's not a likable character, and there's no 3 ways about it. The first 2/3 of his life, he's just not a likable man. Unlike the movie, though, because whenever Hollywood gets the rights to a book, they have the right to change the story a little bit to make it more cinematic. The play parallels the book more. In the book, Celie and Mr. actually have a reconciliation where they become friends again. And in the book, she's actually sitting on the porch teaching him how to sew or something. They do together, and they talk and spend time together. Well, in the play, they show that there is a reconciliation with them in the play also. In the movie, you don't get that. In the movie, you just get him going to the immigration office, filing the papers so Nettie can come into town, and then when they have the picnic, you see him out in the field walking the horse way across the field or something, but you never see him and Celie make amends with each other. Well, the play, they do have a chance to muddle through some of that, and they get closer. So he has a chance at redemption is basically my point within the book and within the play. And so as an actor, it's very interesting to start out a character who's so dastardly, but then actually has an epiphany and a changing point in his life and tries to make amends for his ways and to see that develop. That's a juicy role for an actor, so I'm blessed.
Well, I can imagine. Now, how long have you guys been performing The Color Purple?
Since February.
Since February, and I'm assuming that the cast is just wonderful.
If I must say so myself, yes. I'm blessed to work with a very talented group of people, from the musicians to the dancers to the singers to the actors. It's just a very talented cast, and you'll experience that for yourself when you see the show.
Definitely. Have there been any interesting problems that have arisen while performing the show? Like any accidents or mistakes that could make for funny television? Any practical jokes pulled backstage or anything like that?
None that I can recall. Although sometimes it does get. The only thing I will say, things do get interesting sometimes in that with a traveling show, not all theaters are made to the same dimensions.
Right.
You know, some theaters are smaller than others. So you get to a theater and you have your whole packed show, and you realize you only have 8 feet of wing space as opposed to the 15 you might be used to.
Wow.
So sometimes, a lot of times, depending on every theater we go to, we may have to, on the spur of the moment, chop down the show or reblock it or re-choreograph to fit a particular stage. And that can get interesting sometimes. You know, but no, no real story to dish out.
Well, I can't blame a host for trying because it's nice to have something funny. So, are there any anecdotes you'd like to share about the show itself, or about traveling in theater, or just life in general?
20/20 hindsight. The biggest advice I got this from a vocal teacher when I was studying music way back when in college. And I think it was the most solid advice I ever got. He said, if you want to be an artist, don't get in debt. and I, when he said it, I was like, what kind of advice is that? Geez. But looking 20/20 hindsight, it made a lot of sense. A lot of my peers, who we came to New York together, because they had to pay the rent, they weren't allowed to go to those auditions or experience some of the things. I lived more humbly. I think I slept on the couch of an aunt. But that freed me up financially to be able to experience my craft. As an artist, a lot of times you're not going to make money at the sake of just growing. And unfortunately, if you have a lot of debt or have constant debt, it's like a prison that you can't get out of, so you can't become an artist if you're that much in debt. So it's very practical advice, but good advice nonetheless.
Yeah, well, I'm sure a lot of folks, even who aren't in the craft, are feeling that vice right now. Of debt.
Yeah, but especially to the young artists who start out, don't go getting all those loans and getting in debt and getting all those credit cards, because it's going to make you not be an artist. You're not going to give you the time.
Right.
But other than that, I think I can't wait till you see the show. I hope to talk to you after it to hear your reaction to it.
Oh, definitely.
Obviously, I think it's a great show, and I think it's a great cast, and it's a fantastic story. The concept of love and the human spirit overcoming all obstacles and holding out and persevering until the end.
That's great to hear. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And unfortunately, we're going to have to go to commercial break, folks. But stay tuned and enjoy the show.